Hello students, I'm here with another video from the chapter of class 10 Science NCERT book, that is how do organisms reproduce. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So we have seen the first part of the chapter, that was how the organisms are increasing in number, that this process is said to be as reproduction. And we saw that there are different modes of reproduction. Broadly, it is classified into two parts. That is, one is asexual mode of reproduction and the sexual mode of reproduction. Now, we have also seen the different modes of asexual mode of reproduction, where the organism could increase its number with the help of various methods of asexual reproduction. And then we were discussing about the sexual mode of reproduction in plants, where these plants are undergoing three main processes. The that is the gamete formation, then after that pollination, then fertilization, and then seed formation as well as fruit formation and the seed germination. So these were the main steps of sexual mode of reproduction, where in the last class in which we saw that pollination is taking place when the transference of pollen grains are taking from one plant, from the anther to the stigma of one flower or the different flower. Now these flowers could be present on the one plant or it could be present on the different plants. Okay, this is known as a self pollination as well as a cross pollination. As a result of this self pollination, the cross pollination, the gametes are reaching on the stigma. The male gamete is reaching on the stigma. After that, what happens? It is going to give rise, it germinates and it forms a pollen tube, and this pollen tube reaches towards the ovary, and it again gets this male gamete reaches in the ovary, where ovule is already present, which is the representative of the female gamete, which contains the nucleus of the female gamete. Okay, now these two fuses, male and female gamete fuses in the ovary of the flower, and it is said to be as the fertilization. And after fertilization, a two-celled zygote is formed, and then it divides and redivides and forms the seed, and ovary swells to form the fruit, and ovule is going to form, divide, and it forms the seed. We have also seen the structure of seed after this. Okay, so the structure of seed, which has three parts, I have given you the cotyledons. Okay, then the second part is the radicle and the plumule, and the third part is plumule. So radicle forms root. This cotyledons it is the stored food. It stores food for the young plant. Okay, then this radicle forms root. It grows and forms root, and this plumule forms the stem or the shoot. Okay, so this is about the structure of the flower. This is structure of the, I mean, it is a structure of the seed, where these three main parts are there. Now, as I told, the result of fertilization is the seed formation. Now, is there any condition where the seeds are where the fruits are formed, but seeds are not there? Now, there could be any condition like such. So, we are going to study about one different mode of reproduction, which is said to be as the parthenocarpy, or this is also known as parthenogenesis in the animals. We will study about this parthenocarpy. What is this parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy means the fruits are formed. These fruits are formed. Fruits without seeds, or these are formed without fertilization. Now, there is one condition, that these seeds are developed, these fruits are being developed because of the absence of fertilization. Okay. Now, plants are going to produce the fruits and the seeds because of the pollination followed by fertilization. Okay. This we have already studied in the sexual mode of reproduction in plants. Now here but there are certain fruits which are formed, which are there are certain fruits, even there are certain fruits as well as the seeds, both are there. which is formed without the process of fertilization. Now, the parthenocarpy is the phenomenon of the development of the fruits without the fertilization. So, these fruits are formed without fertilization under the process called parthenocarpy. Okay, so here, then when fruits are being developed without fertilization, they will not contain seed. Okay, so the mention parthenocarpy is the phenomenon by which fruits are developed without the process of fertilization. The fruits which are developed naturally and parthenocarpically, then they have one difference. What is that difference? The naturally formed seed, the fruits will have seeds inside it, whereas this parthenocarpic fruits will not have seed inside it. Okay, there are certain grapes which is not containing seed. Okay, so the seedless grapes or the seedless bananas, they are possible only because of this parthenogenesis. Okay, so this gave rise to seedless fruits. That is why this parthenogenesis or this parthenocarpic fruits are nowadays available in the market, where we saw that the seedless grapes are present. Okay, so the parthenocarpy, you can say this is another type of asexual mode of reproduction in the flowering plants. It is found naturally in the plants like banana, and also could be artificially induced with the help of certain chemicals like growth inducers. Okay, there are certain growth inducers or growth regulators we are using for giving rise to such fruits, where the fruits would be developed but seeds are not formed. Okay, as you know that when we eat fruit, we do not like to eat the seeds. Okay, so we want the fruits which are not having the seeds. So this is possible in the parthenocarpic fruits, where they are developed. These fruits are there, which is formed without fertilization. You know that whenever the fertilization is taking place in the this inside the ovary of the flower, in the ovary of the flower, when the male gamete is fusing with the female gamete, then it gives rise to a two-celled zygote, which is said to be as, this zygote is formed, and this zygote develops into seeds. Now, what happens if this process is only not taking place, this fertilization is not taking place? The fruits are going to develop, they are going to be swelling up, and then the ovary is going to form a fruit. But if the ovary is forming fruit, it means that it should contain seed. But if fertilization is not there, the fertilized ovule is only said to be as seed afterwards. Now, if fertilization is only not taking place, then the seed would develop, but this is not going to have seed inside it. This takes place naturally, I said, as well as artificially. So in the nature also, we can see certain fruits. Okay, there are certain fruits. So there could be natural way as well as the artificial way of developing this parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, so this parthenocarpy is possible when when the fruits is being formed without fertilization naturally. In the bananas, we can see seedless banana, seedless grapes are there. Even the oranges are nowadays developed parthenocarpically, where we are using certain chemicals artificially and developing those fruits without the seeds, because we require fruits only, and we don't want seed to be present inside the fruit, in some fruits especially. Okay, so that is why we can induce this parthenocarpy in the different fruits artificially. Okay, so these are also known as seedless fruits. Parthenocarpic fruits are also known as seedless fruits. Okay, so this, please remember, we have to only read about this parthenocarpy in a very superficial manner, which means that fruits are developed without fertilization. The example of such fruits are parthenocarpic fruits are seedless grapes and seedless bananas. Okay, and then it could be developed, it could be done artificially also with the help of certain growth regulators. Fine. This is parthenocarpy is being increasingly used to produce seedless fruit varieties today, because of the high quality, and consistency in the yield. Okay. Fine. in parthenocarpy, actually what happens, the ovary is going to form the fruit without undergoing the process of fertilization. Okay, you know that the fruits contains ovary. I mean, this is the swollen ovary itself. So if the ovary is there, and inside this ovary if the seeds are there, it means that it is being fertilized. And if no fertilization is happening, it means that the fruits would be developed without the process of this fertilization. Okay, so this is all about the parthenocarpic fruits, or we could say this parthenocarpy. Okay, this is all about the production of the seedless fruits, children. Okay, so please remember this, and the later part of this parthenogenesis and the parthenocarpy would be taught in the higher classes, where there are different types of parthenocarpy and there could be different role, what is the use. So you can write down the use also. Even the use of the parthenocarpy could be in the production of the seedless fruits, as well as in the seedless these seedless grapes and bananas, and even lemon, the oranges, even watermelons are also used nowadays. They're being induced and then they are being formed, because in watermelon lots of seeds are there. So the quantity of the seeds would be decreased once once we will utilize this parthenocarpy in different fruits. Okay, so this was about the fertilization. This was about the seeds which the fruits which are being formed without the process called fertilization. Fine. Now we will move on so this was all about the sexual mode of reproduction in plants, children. Okay, we read about pollination, fertilization, then after that seed dispersal also we have seen. We also saw here, just now we saw about the parthenocarpy. Now we will move on to the sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so we'll study about the sexual mode of reproduction in humans. We have studied about the sexual mode of reproduction in plants. Okay, now we'll study about the sexual reproduction in the higher animals, how they are taking and how it is taking place. Okay, now we are familiar with the modes of reproduction that depends upon the involvement of the two individuals before a new generation can be created. Fine. So bulls alone cannot produce new calves, neither the hens are they could produce a new chicks. Okay, in such cases both male and females are needed to produce a new generation. Fine. This is the significance of the sexual mode of reproduction. And there are certain limitations of asexual mode of reproduction, where we found that the variations which are occurring, these variations are not present. I mean, if the variations are there, these variations, children, they are produced in a very small in number. Means these variations are very small in number. They take time to get expressed in the various individuals. Fine. So for speeding up this variation, because without variation there is the new species are not formed, or those species which are already present, all those animals or the birds, plants, human beings, all those which are present, they would not have any kind of difference. And if there would be no difference, it means evolution is not taking place, and evolution has to take place. That is why the variation has to increase its speed. Once the variation is increasing the speed, it is how this is going to increase the speed. The variation is going to increase the speed with the help of the sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, now why the sexual mode of reproduction? What is the need of this sexual mode of reproduction? This is given in your book, also in your NCERT book, and just read it out for you all. The creation of two new cells from one involves the creation of two new cells from one involving copying of DNA as well as the cellular apparatus. Okay, so there is we discussed a lot about this DNA copying when I was telling you about why this DNA is said to be as a blueprint. So when the new individual is formed, then the DNA copying has to take place. One major step of this DNA copying is there, because of which the half the DNA is being copied and half the DNA is being generated on its own. Okay, means it is produced on its own. Fine. So because of which the variation is possible, and this variation is useful, and that is why it is transferring into the next generation, and because of which a new generation which comes up is completely different from the present, from from this parent generation. Okay, from the first generation, or rather I would say. Then the DNA copying mechanism, as well as we noted, cannot be absolutely accurate. Okay, because no chemical reaction is reliable. We have already read this in when we were discussing about the past facts. Okay, so no chemical reaction is reliable. It means that there are certain differences when we are doing the chemical reaction. Then the new product which is being formed, it is slightly, not completely, I must say, it is slightly different from the products which were formed in the last reaction or in the past reactions. Some reactions, if we are see, suppose that if we are doing one reaction again and again, then the result, then the product which we are getting would be slightly different in each case. The number of reactions you would, the number of chance you are going to increase for the reactions, the products which are being formed, that would also contain slight difference. So this is what is happening in the DNA copying. Okay, once the DNA copying is taking place, this is again a very complex chemical reaction. Remember, this is again a complex chemical reaction, so this cannot be accurate at all. Some differences or some variation would arise. Now this variation is of good, this is of good in its nature, that is why it is passing into the next generation. Fine, and that is why individuals are different. Each individual organism cannot be protected, they are being cannot be protected by the variations, but in a population, variation are useful for ensuring the survival of the species, as this variation is taking place because of the environmental condition. To adjust in the environmental conditions, only these variations are taking place. Okay, so we discussed this in details also in the last class. Okay, in the past few classes I have discussed this. So if environment is involved, then the variation would also occur, and if variation is occurring, why this is occurring? To adjust in that particular environment. Okay, so differences has to be there. If these differences are not there, then survival of the particular organism would be difficult in a certain environmental conditions. Fine. So population would always express these differences. It would therefore make a sense of an organism to come up with the reproductive modes, and that allows more and more variations are to be generated, so that they could be more adaptable to live in the different population, in between the different population, in the different environmental conditions. While DNA copying mechanisms are not absolutely accurate, they are precise enough to make a generation of variation fairly slow, in a fairly slow process. In DNA, if the DNA copying mechanism were to be less accurate, or they are when these are less accurate, they are enough to make the generations to have variation. Okay, if DNA copying mechanism were less accurate, many of the resultant DNA copies would not able to work with the cellular apparatus and would die. And if more variations are there, if these variations are not accurately being done, then these, if it is beyond the level of means, there are certain limitations while variation is taking place. If variation is crossing that very limit, then what would happen? Then the new individual which is being developed is going to die. Okay, the new variations would not survive, the individuals would not survive. Okay, so what would happen? New species would not be formed. It would therefore make sense if organism come up with the reproductive modes and allow more and more variation to be there. Fine. So what happens? So how the process of making making variance be speeded up? We require variations in the individuals, and this is only possible. This is happening, but this is taking place in a very slow manner. So to speed up the process of this variation, there could be some other means and modes. Okay, each new variation is made in DNA copy and has already has variant accumulated in the previous generation. Thus, two different individuals in the population would have quite different patterns of accumulated variations. Since all of these variations are in the living individuals, it is assured that that they do not have any really bad effects. So please remember, if the variations are happening, this should happen in a very precise manner. This should happen only in a very accurate manner. If it is not taking place in the accuracy, then what would happen? The new individual is not going to survive. Okay, so this has to be there in a very this should not give any bad effects. Combining variations from two individuals, two or more individuals, would thus create new components of variation. Okay, each combination would be novel, means it should be new, since it would involve two different individuals. The sexual mode of reproduction incorporates such a process of combining DNA from two different individual during the reproduction. Okay, but this creates a major difficulty. If each new generation is there, combination of DNA copies from two pre-existing individuals, then a new generation would end up in having twice the number of DNA that the previous generation is having. Okay, for example, you know that in each cells, I said there are 46 number of chromosomes. Okay, it's very simple. It has 46 number of chromosomes, means each cell has the two strands of DNA. Now, if the sexual reproduction is taking place, it means that both the cells would have two strands of DNA. Now, if the new individual is formed, it will have how many strands? Four strands of DNA. And again, what would happen? This individual is not going to survive. If we are saying variation has to accumulate, it means that somewhere this DNA has to combine. Now, if already two strands of DNA is there in one cell, it means it is already complete. There is no requirement of the DNA, then why it is going to undergo the process of DNA copying and all that. Okay, so what would happen? There should be certain precise manner. Then only, if the individual which is generating this should also have only the one single copy of DNA. Means it should only have two strands. It should not have more than two strands. Okay, so here in the sexual mode of reproduction, one more phenomenon is involved, because of which the individual which is being formed, it has the precise form of DNA. Means it also has a correct DNA sequence. It should also have a correct number of DNA which should be present. Okay, so what happens? Therefore, the concept of gamete will arise here. So we will see what is the meaning of the word gamete over here itself. So how this cell would contain only two strands? Where would this two extra strands would go? We'll just find out all these things here. Okay. Beside, each generation would double itself. Okay. If this is happening, if both the DNAs are combining, it will have four strands of DNA, which is a wrong concept. Means this would not this individual is not going to survive. Fine. So what would be happening? Let's find out. If the generation doubles itself fairly soon, there would be DNA. There would be only DNA on the earth, with no room for anything else. Okay, means it is going to completely multiplying. Now, suppose that if survives this cell survives somehow, then what would happen? Again, if it is going to combine with any other DNA, then again the multiplication would happen, and only the DNAs would be on the earth. It would be full of DNAs, nothing else would be left here. Okay, so this is a very wrong concept. So what has happened more, how this DNA copying is done very accurately. So here what happens, we have seen earlier that as organisms become more complex, the specialization of the tissues also increase. So this is a fact that the thing which is happening here is not going to happen actually in the nature. So what would happen then? So we said that if we are increasing in multicellularity, the multiple celled animal or the multicellular animal has different tissues. And tissues, you know that it is the specialized cells or the group of cells which is specialized in the function. So here the specialization increases. Each and every tissue has its particular work. So this is impossible now. You know that we have specialized tissues for solving each and every problem in the body. for performing any function, we require a special group of cells, okay, which give rise to this which give rise to the speciality or the specification of the different organs and different cells also. Fine. Now we have seen earlier that the tissues which are specialized in the function, they are present in the multicellular animal. We are not at all similar to those asexually reproducing lower animals. Okay, so we're completely different. That is why we are not having regeneration and all those things. Okay, so we have the different specialized tissues for doing the different special works in the body. For seeing, we have eye tissues. For speaking, we have the tongue tissues. Okay, we have skin to feel, we have brain to think, we have nervous tissues, we have blood cells, we have skin, we have so many tissues which are specialized in their function, and nobody is interfering anybody's function inside the body of the individual. Okay, so every tissue is following its own path and it is following its own functions. It's not going to interfere any other's function, fine, because we are specialized. Now, one solution that that many multicellular organisms have found the problem mentioned above, so have special chromosomes and half amount of DNA as compared to the non-reproductive body cells. Okay, now here the problem, I think the solution of the problem that we would not have this, each and every cell in our body is not having the two copies of DNA. Okay, I had just now told that I was continuously discussing that each cell contains nucleus, and inside the nucleus we have double-stranded DNA. But here I am saying that all the cells in the body all the cells in the body, they have this only. I mean, the double-stranded DNA is there, but there are certain cells which is not having the double-stranded DNA, children. So some cells are different in the nature because they do not contain this double-stranded DNA. Okay, they are different, which has only one copy of DNA. Now, if this half a copy of DNA means one strand only would be there, 23 chromosomes would only be there. Okay, so there would be no 46 chromosomes. It would have only 23 chromosomes present. Okay, 46 number would not be there. 23 pairs would not be there, or 46 chromosomes. All other body tissues or the cells would have 46 chromosomes, but some cells are there which will have only half a number of copy of this DNA, means only 23 chromosomes would be there. It would not have 46 chromosomes. Okay, so one solution to this multicellular organism have been found. The problem to mention which has been mentioned above here is to have special lineages of cells in the specialized organs and which have only the half number of chromosomes, which means that we have only half amount of DNA as compared to the other body cells. So these tissues, these cells which have only 23 chromosomes or which has only one copy of DNA, half a copy of DNA is there, then these are called the reproductive cells. Okay, these are called as reproductive cells, and then in the next we would say that these are called gametes. Okay, so these reproductive cells are very much different from the non-reproductive cells. Non-reproductive cells would have the 46 number of chromosomes, but this reproductive cells would have only 23 chromosomes. Then only if another 23 chromosomes are going to match, then we would have the cell having 46 chromosomes, which means that it would be a normal individual because it has 46 chromosomes. So 23 chromosomes would come from one gamete and 23 chromosomes are going to come from another individual, which is going to form 46 number of chromosomes in one individual, and again a new individual would be present on the earth with this 46 number of chromosomes. Okay, we'll just undergo this phenomenon, and we will see that what is actually, how is this combination of 23 chromosome with 20 another 23 chromosomes is going to take place. And then again it is forming one of the individual which has 46 number of chromosomes again. Okay, so that would be a very common thing, and then that would be a very normal phenomenon, because of which this 46 chromosome is being again restored. So why this is happening? This is only possible because of this reproductive cells, which is also known as the gametes. Okay, so these are present in the reproductive cells, in the reproductive body cells. Thus, when these germ cells from two individuals combine during sexual reproduction to form a new individual, it results in the re-establishment of the number of chromosomes and the DNA content in the new generation, as I have told here. If this half part of the chromosome would also be present, then there would be no significance of having this 46 chromosomes. It would already be increased number of chromosomes would be formed. But this is going to this is going to decrease the chance of survival. Now, to increase the chance of survival, this 23 pair should come from one individual and 23 pair would come from another individual. 23 chromosome, not the pair. Okay, so this is going to come from another individual. Then again these two are going to form to give rise to this 46 chromosome in one individual, and again this would be re-established and it would be restored. So how this is happening, we'll discuss this all these things in the next class, children. So that's all was for today itself, and we have seen about the different modes, that is the parthenocarpy in today's video, as well as I have given you about this concept of sexual mode of reproduction in the human beings, where we saw that variations are always happening, but this is happening in a very slow process. So to increase this process of variation, because it helps in the survival of the individual, we require a quicker method, we require the speedy method, which is known as the sexual mode of reproduction, which is only possible when when some cells would have incomplete copy of DNA. And how much incomplete it should have? It should have only 23 chromosome. That would come again, the next half of this 23 chromosome would come from another individual. Then if it is going to combine, and then it is going to form a new individual with 46 number of chromosome, and that would be a normal human being. Okay, so this was about the introduction of this sexual mode of reproduction and how this is happening. I'll discuss this in the next class. So that's all for today's video, children. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed.